I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, Henry Cejudo's house for the second time. I was here once to do an interview with him and Aljamain Sterling. This time the floor is all yours, Henry. Thank you for letting us in your house again.
This time I'm about 20 pounds lighter, but yeah.
You look a lot better. We appreciate you having us, man.
Of course.
I got a gift for you. There you go before we get started.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see what you got here. Dude, I think I have a feeling, bro.
Hey,
is this your wrestling club before I open it?
It wasn't small before, where champions are built, are bred. Gilroy Wrestling.
That's what's up. And also, Daniel, congratulations. Congratulations on your 3 state champs.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
For those who don't know about California wrestling, that's crazy.
Thank you.
That's unprecedented. So you're doing a heck of a good job. So
I love being in this room because a lot of the things that you've accomplished are on display, obviously. Those are unprecedented feats. But you and I have spoken constantly about our history, our past, and how long I've known you. So I want to kind of fast forward through that. So we ain't going back to the Olympic Training Center, Colorado Springs. All that is very well documented, great accomplishments, but I want to go back to 2020. The world shuts down. We head to Jacksonville. Empty arena, the UFC's first. We're going to put on an event. You're defending your title against Dominic Cruz. Mm-hmm. You win the fight. You would imagine that after winning that fight, your star will rise in a way that you could not have even imagined, because look at what it did for all the other guys that fought during the pandemic when they were first. All eyes were on Jacksonville. You retired. Did you know going into that fight that you may step away? And how difficult was the decision to step away from fighting, especially on the heels of a performance like that?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I started thinking of retirement probably that week.
Of the fight.
When I landed in Jacksonville, I'm just like, look around DC.
Yeah.
Double champ, youngest Hall of Famer USA Wrestling, youngest Olympic champ in history. Mm-hmm. I pretty much have done it all.
Yeah.
And it almost got to the point I'm just like, since age 11 to the age of 33, that's all I've ever done is wrestling and competed. I wanted to start a family. I wanted to, eat what I want to eat. You know what I mean? I wanted to live. I wanted to enjoy my life. You understand what I'm saying? So it was more of the fact that you start kind of losing the love of competition. It's not even the sport. And I personally knew that if I didn't have that love for competition, if I didn't have that appetite, then maybe it was time for me to call it quits. Mm-hmm. There was no people. I never really fought for the people, even though my persona, for the fans, or I want the high. I'm not these guys that get a rush from that. Because to me, it's a competition within me and myself. You understand what I'm saying? So when I did retire that time, not even Captain Eric knew.
He's been your guy
and he's been my guy. He knows everything about me. But I remember telling him on occasion, once I finished Dominic Cruz in the second, I'm like, I'm done, man. There's just I don't have that chip on my shoulder.
So generally, right after a fight, especially a title fight, you win. There's this rush of adrenaline of accomplishing something great, and then there's a come down, right? Because then you go from being the spotlight to back to that normal everyday life. In that moment, though, where there was that rush, where there was that relief of getting through camp, getting through the fight, in that moment, you said, I'm done?
Yeah.
That had to get through a lot of that joyous emotion to get to that point.
You get sick of cutting weight. You get sick of even promoting. And I'll be quite honest with you, if we're going to be quite frank, I didn't feel compensated enough for me to be like, okay, this is what the Olympic champ, the 2-division champ, this is what he's earned. And I'm just like, no, I'm getting ready to make my money and bring it into real estate.
Yeah.
And I've been doing a heck of a good job with that. So even now, DC, the fact that a lot of people think I'm broke. A lot of people think I'm coming back for money. But even though I do see dollar signs on all these guys, it's like the easiest way to make money in my eyes.
Yeah.
That's part of another reason why I'm coming back. And that's the God honest truth, but it's not because of the money.
Yeah.
It's because that fulfillment, that spirit of competition has entered me once again.
But when did it start to show itself? When did that burning desire to compete again start to come back?
Honestly, a lot of UFC fighters played that role. Since I've retired, I've been able to train the likes of David Figueiredo, help them win a world title, game plan for them.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
That night in LA, we got to talk about it. You're Mexican.
Oh, yeah.
You're Mexican. Your guy beats the Mexican guy in Los Angeles with all the Mexican fans, Hispanics.
Right.
They're booing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if they're booing Davison as much as they're
No,
booing you.
No, they were booing me.
I've got friends now that still go, you better not. Today I was eating Mexican food. They say, you better not be eating Mexican food with Henry Cejudo. Go eat Brazilian or something.
Yeah, but it's not about that. It's not even about being Brazilian or even American. It's like people come into your life.
Yeah, and you train them up to win.
The true loyalty is the friendship, is the heart. We all bleed red, or we should. So getting a chance to train Davison, I helped Yuri Prochazka win a world title. Obviously, John Jones had come up to me on 4 different occasions. Zhang Wei Li. I mean, the list, Cormier, Chris Cyborg, I mean, they all come up to me to get mentorship and pretty much kind of learn the technical and the tactical aspect from me.
And that was, in that?
But understanding and knowing what is it that I know and feeding them all this knowledge, I'm just like, God, you know, it's starting to, what I'm breathing into them is starting to come back to me. Because I know how good I still am. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And, you know, even like a guy like John, I'm just like, man, I see things where you can still tweak them and still make them that much better. Even as good as he is now. And I think that's something that's really, that kind of started you know, pounding my heart, and especially the fact that the bantamweight division is taking off. Yeah. I mean, the bantamweight division, I mean, you had former champs like Frankie Edgar, Uriah Faber, you had Dominic Cruz, Aldo, all these guys who have been done. I'm just like, and I just ask myself, I'm better than all these dudes. I feel like not only can I beat them, but I can stop them all. I'm to that. Like, my mentality is right there. And when I did retire, it was more like, dude, what else is there for me to do for me to feel that drive? Yeah. Because the compensation piece wasn't there. You see what I'm saying? I'm not here to bash anybody, but it's just the reality. I'm just like, no, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to have kids. I'm ready to have, you know, I'm ready to get married. I'm ready to.
And you've done that.
And I've done all that. And ironically, you probably don't know now, but I'm actually, my wife's pregnant again.
Oh,
so
congratulations!
So we're gonna welcome another Cejudo into the family.
That's awesome, bro.
But these last 3 years since I've been gone, Daniel, the best years of my life. Yeah, they really have, and it showed me that I did the right thing of retiring
at that moment. Because now you're back, because that thing's back.
Yeah, exactly. And it does hurt a little bit, even starting camp. I mean, look, I'm beat up.
I see it.
I'm taking this stuff serious. Like, no. If you guys can hurt me, you guys are going to be compensated to hurt me. Mm-hmm. If you guys can throw some flying knees and catch me or elbow, congratulations, man. You just made $500. So this is a $500 scar right here.
I told your wife that. I said, has he changed? She goes, so much. I said, well, physically he's changed. But I go, mentally, right, you're a little pork chop. Right here. Yeah. But I said, mentally, he's also changed. She goes, he's changed so much. His mindset is so different in the regard that now all you think about is this thing. Yeah. You train, you come back, you get your body ready to train again. Yeah. She said she'd never seen you in a competitive state. She wasn't the Olympics. She wasn't there in the championships. So this is all new to her. And I told her, I said, don't baby him. Because in order to do this, you got to be a killer. Mm-hmm. And she said she can see that in you right now and in your preparation. No, 110%. And you know, even this comeback, Daniel, it's like it's not for my baby. It's not for my wife. It's not. It's for that competitive drive that has entered me once again, history making. And the reality is even with Aljamain, like, to me, it's I'm going beyond that. I can't overlook, because I do have to respect the champ right now. Mm-hmm. I may sound a little different when it comes to the cameras and X, Y, and Z of what I say, but the reality is, man, like, I want to make history. I want to become the first 3-division champ in UFC history. Yeah. So my job is to go up to 145 pounds and go after Alexander. I've said that. I said, I don't want to hear Henry Cejudo saying Al Volkanovski's name. After the way he fought Islam, I was like, man, that's a hit tall. It's a big battle, but you got to respect the guy that has massive goals. And why would anyone doubt you when all you've ever done is deliver on the things that you've wanted to do? And if there's one thing that I'm a better fighter, I'm a better competitor than I'm a fighter. And I think that's what makes me dangerous. Well, that's what got you the belt against Marlon. But that's what also got me a gold medal. I wasn't the best wrestler. I just knew how to compete. You competed so well that year. And pull triggers. The 2 out of the 4 guys that beat me at the Olympics had beaten me before in the same tournament. Mm-hmm. We wrestle again. I take them all out. Got them all. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Velikov. I mean, all these cats. Yeah. Henry, you said the last 3 years of your life they've been the best 3 years of your life, and you kind of alluded to it with your wife and your child. But what else has played a factor in making it that time away the best that you've ever had?
Look around DC. 2-division champ, defeated Demetrius Johnson, the most title defense in UFC history. Dominic Cruz, the greatest bantamweight of all time. I beat a dude on damn EPO. I beat 3 Hall of Famers into this title. Youngest in history to ever win an Olympic gold medal in 2008. Youngest, and it still stands today, Hall of Famer in USA Wrestling history. I finally had a chance to reap the fruits of my labor.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? The enjoyment, okay, I'm gonna stay up late. I'm gonna go out. And at that time I was even single too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have fun. Yeah, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna do whatever it is that I desire. Competing, but no longer in the physical aspect in competition.
Yeah. Because what people don't realize is when you're committed to something, it's like 100%. There's no room for.
I won't do it. If I'm not 100% in, I just won't do it. Had a family. Met my beautiful wife who I had a crush on for like the last since 2016. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's ironic how the story works because I went through like a breakup and at that time, and it was a whole completely different person. But I was able to rekindle that with a girl that I was crushing on for like 7 years, man.
Really?
Had a baby with her.
So you liked her since 2016, and it's only 2023 now. So 7 years you had already liked her. Like, I don't understand.
Maybe my math is a little off.
That's because you didn't go to college. That's right there. You going straight to the Olympics.
Since 2016, and I was able to meet her.
Yeah.
Fall in love with her, had a baby, and just seeing the growth of my child, man. It's been the best experiences. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like every morning she knows. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's
nothing's better.
Nothing's better because I was a kid that grew up without a dad.
Yeah.
I was a kid who grew up in a single family home. I was a kid who grew up in poverty. I was a kid I went to sleep, with the stomach growling. Yeah. I was a kid that was raised in Phoenix and LA without no air conditioning. I was a kid that social services helped. You know what I'm saying? We had to even run from social service because at one point they were gonna take us away from my mom because, dude, there was too many of us and we were malnutrition. You understand what I'm saying? So being able to go through that and have that is the same reason why I named my baby America.
Yeah.
I love the red, white, and blue. As an immigrant son, my parents came here, maybe not the most legal way. They gave me that opportunity and I'm just thankful.
Yeah.
So these last 3 years, the fact that I've been able to retire, I've been able to enjoy it, man.
Travel with your family, do all kinds of things.
Yeah, I do everything with my family.
Accomplishing great things is what's been your motivating factor for years. And the one thing that I took from the retirement at the time was you never allowed yourself to have a title reign, right? You didn't have that reign, right? You were the 25-pound champ, you beat TJ. You went to 35, you became the champion, you beat Dominic, I'm out. You never were able to have that sustained reign atop the division. Did that matter something?
Can I also tell you why?
Yeah,
it's
I want to know.
Because that was never necessarily my goal. My original goal was to become to win the Olympics, become UFC champion, and after not even defend my belt again. This is
really,
and just retire.
But why?
Because I wanted to be the greatest combat athlete of all time. Mm-hmm. Did that, defended both my belts. Once I defended both my belts, I'm like, man, I'm healthy. I have a bag full of money. I made really good money my last fight. I was like, you know what? It's time for me to live. It's time for me to invest and do the things that I've always wanted to do, enjoy myself, compete in other areas. Even now with something as simple as a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. I enjoy coming home, spending time with my family, taking my kid to the park, walking with her, seeing her walk, seeing her talk. You know what I'm saying? Like being a girl dad.
Yeah.
To me that's priceless. You know what I'm saying? To me that you can always have money, but you can never go back to time.
When you look on this one, right, and you got your eyes set on becoming the champ again, going up to 45 and becoming the champ there, is that title reign something you're thinking about now? Because ultimately, I think you have to win the belt, you have to defend in order to get the Alexander Volkanovski to go, you know what, I will fight the guy that's smaller, right? It's got to be a little bit more than just Henry Cejudo, the bantamweight champion, because there's a lot of risk in fighting a guy that's smaller. But you got to get through Aljo first. But what kind of title reign do you want?
My goal is to beat Aljo, fight O'Malley, and then I'm going up.
Why O'Malley?
Because he's pay-per-view money.
Yeah.
And he's the #1 contender. And I think, and that's just the reality. I see all this too as a business. Like, it's not for the money, but I do see dollar signs on all these dudes. So I want him, I want Aljo, I want O'Malley, and then boom. Let's go up to 145 pounds. Give me my shot. I still feel like what I've done in sports, I think I should cut the line automatically. For what I've done in combat
that's what
sports.
you're doing at bantamweight.
Yeah, but no. I left the bout. I was respectful. I says, Dana, thank you. Here's the belt. On that Monday, I threw in my pink slip.
But was it hard to get the title fight, or was it just I asked, I got it?
Pretty much.
Really?
Because they know what I'm capable of, and yeah, maybe Aljo's not the most likable bantamweight champ, so it kind of goes to my favor as well, and that's okay. Yeah. But at the same time, if I do gotta go through these steps before I get the 145-pound strap, then that's what I want to do, and it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I do think big, and I am a reflection of my mind. And if I'm gonna do something, I go big. I try to go as big as I can, and I mean, I'm in the history books forever. I don't even need to hear this thing from anybody no more. Like, I am the greatest combat athlete of all time. If you can name somebody with a better combat resume than me, then I'll bend the knee. But there isn't.
Yeah.
There isn't. And I'm satisfied and I'm happy with that. But I still want to put myself in a league where maybe nobody will ever step foot in.
Yeah.
That's where I stand, DC, and that's the God honest truth.
I think what lends to your greatness is not only the fighting, but also the coaching, right? Because of what you've done, and it became a thing. It became a thing. Like, Henry Cejudo's coaching this person, look for something new. How did you get into that side of it so greatly? Because I see you at your little whiteboard. It's the TV, actually. I don't know if people know it's a TV that he uses to kind of do all your breakdowns. But, like, how did you get into it? And, like, when you're coaching these guys and you're surrounded by these athletes, guys and gals, how much are you doing for yourself physically in terms of working out? And how closely are you watching the bantamweight division while you're just essentially a coach? Because I would see you at the fights. You never spoke of fighting again.
No. And I think instead of you saying a coach, I'm more of a counselor / teacher. Consultant, exactly. I'm not going to be that weekend warrior guy that's going to be going to tournaments every Saturday or going to UFC fights every single weekend. It's like, that's just not me. Nor am I going to train somebody from scratch and develop them.
You want people that already have.
I already want,
baseline.
Exactly, because to me it's the 1%ers, because I am that 1%er. Like, I know where is it that I could adjust you and make those adjustments to take it to the promised land. You see, to get you to the world of you becoming the UFC champ, or even in wrestling. But a lot of my gifts actually comes from my brother Angel. Yeah. Like, getting a chance to watch.
He was very big part of your upbringing.
Yeah. Like, if there's one person that I look up to probably the most in this world is my brother Angel. Like, to me, he's the greatest teacher I've ever met. And I've learned a lot from him. And I could never teach wrestling like he teaches. He's like levels.
He's really good.
He's like levels above me. But I can take a lot of the curriculum that I've seen from him, what he's done with his kids to building national champs, to me taking it to the UFC world, to the mixed martial arts world, and hey, this is what I know. And then obviously, like, now I'm proud to say that even in the sport of mixed martial arts, I know more than my brother. Like, that's how smart he is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm proud of that, because I'm just like, no, Angel, check this out.
That's how you want your little brother to think, though. That's really how you want your little brother to think.
Yeah. So it's I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate to have a smart big brother who has paved the way for me athletically and also through coaching.
May 6th at Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey, you're fighting against Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling may have become the champion in a way that was unbecoming to many, right? He got kneed, he was losing, but there has to be a lot in coming back and beating that same guy. Yeah. And winning the fight, then beating the next guy. When you look at Aljamain Sterling, forget the conversation here face to face, forget you guys going back and forth on ESPN last week, forget all that. When you break down Aljamain Sterling, what do you see that makes you so confident? Because to us in the world, we see a guy that's long, we see a guy that's in shape, we see a guy that can wrestle, grapple, and has got very improved striking. We see a guy that is a champion.
Yeah, but on top of everything you just mentioned, he's just not me. I'm that and some.
You just think that you being you is too much for Aljamain Sterling.
Yes.
Really?
I just know that I'm better. Whether it's the striking department, whether it's the wrestling, whether it's the grappling, whether it's the IQ, whether it's the tactics. Yeah, I'm just better than this dude all around. And yeah, I do have to respect him because he has beaten some good guys, but I could beat him too.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that there's nothing that really scares me with him because I already know his game plan. You see what I'm saying? He proves it every time. Every time you see him fight. Now, if you watch me fight, there's different game plans every time. I'm going to wrestle you. I'm going to kick you. I'm going to do certain things, but I'm going to stick to the game plan. If the game plan ain't working, I'm going to adjust.
Yeah.
He's good, but he just isn't me. So it has nothing to do with Aljamain. It's like, it's like Captain Eric was just saying. It's like, hey, it's triple C versus C4. And that's how I'm seeing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I'm going to have to go up in that cage. You're going to have to lock it. But another thing, too, even when we did have the conversation with Aljamain here, I just know when somebody respects me. I know when somebody has a little bit of fear.
It did feel like that here. It felt like he respected you. But last week, it didn't feel the same.
Yeah,
it didn't feel the same in your guys' interactions.
You're out in Long Island. You're freaking 3,000 miles away.
When you guys are face-to-face here, it was almost like you were speaking at him and he was just kind of taking it and absorbing it. Last week, he wasn't playing that game. It didn't seem like it. It seemed like he was upset, he was agitated.
Well, I think last week he was playing the game.
Yeah.
But deep down inside,
you don't think that was real?
No.
You think that was him trying to just go so far in the opposite direction of the respect?
Of course, yeah, of course. But I will say this. He is going to come out to fight.
He seemed agitated.
I'm not saying that he's not going to come out to fight. He is going to come out to fight, but what happens when one guy wants it and then the other guy wants it? And it comes down to skill. And trust me, dude, like if I have to go Mexican style, if I have to throw out the gloves, like I fought Marlon Moraes, I blew my shoulder out.
Was that the most
when I blew my shoulder out, went in with the sprained ankle, and I beat this dude with one arm, literally with one arm, Daniel. Watch that whole damn fight.
No, I watched it, bro.
You're
that was one of the most impressive.
With one arm, like the greatest comeback. Like Marlon has never been the same. You see what I'm saying? I have tested myself in levels that people will never reach, and I just don't think Aljamain's at that level. I see him fatigue in the later rounds. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just a lot that I see that I have to capitalize on. Like to me, it's not just about beating Aljamain. Like I want to stop Aljamain.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What is a satisfying result for Henry Cejudo in a fight with Aljamain Sterling?
Stop him in 3.
Really?
Yeah, don't let him get into championship rounds. Stop him in 3.
But why the third? Why in 3 rounds? Just putting a heavy pace on him, heavy
no,
pressure?
Because I told the same thing to Dominic. I'm like, you're not going championship rounds.
Dominic thought that was a fast stoppage.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, I woke him up. Watch the fight. Watch it when he goes limp. Threw another punch. Woke him up again. This is the same thing about Dillashaw. When I crack people, dude, they go limp. TJ fell 3 times before the ref said enough. Dominic fell 2 times. Watch it. Boom. I did him a favor and I woke him up. I probably should have just hit him and did this. But sometimes when you stick somebody a lot, boom, you snap him back.
Snap him back to reality.
Yeah, of course. And he took that heavy knee. But notice and look where the fight was going. You see what I'm saying? Like he was forced to fight me, kicking his legs. He was forced to bring it on and then boom, called him in for that knee. Like all the stuff was planned. And there's a particular plan too for Aljamain as well too. And it's gonna be different.
Where do you think you hold the biggest advantage? Because one of the things that is, to me, I think it's odd. You don't wrestle as much as you probably could, because it would seem as though you have this massive advantage in the wrestling. But it's not like you're out there shooting double legs and single legs.
Unless I have to.
Yeah.
Unless I have to. I'm too much of an athlete.
You inside Trip Demetrius.
I wanna have fun while doing this. Like, you know what I mean? Khabib tells me the same thing. Hey, why are you Olympic champion? You wrestle pound and get they done in 2.
It's very simple. It seems like a very simple way of fighting.
Right. But that's just not me. Because then to me, the fight game is a dance. And I want to disrupt that dance as much as I can. I want to get you out of there in a fashion where you remember me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I will remember one fight in particular that I absolutely hate, and I've never seen it. I beat Sergio Pettis, and I just wrestled this dude for 3 rounds. Man, I felt so disgusted with myself.
Really?
Yeah. I wanted to vomit after that fight. I got booed and everything, and I deserved that because I'm better than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we train elbows, knees, and kicks, and I'm over here just using what I know best. And to me, it's not just about winning now. It's about, man, I want to put on a show.
But it would seem to put yourself at risk also.
Yes and no.
You don't think Aljo presents those risks?
I don't think I would enjoy the fight game as much if I did
But can
that.
you enjoy it if it does go the opposite way? Say something does happen, right? Because this is mixed martial arts and anything can happen.
But of course, if I have to, I will. And trust me, I still train. Like, even with the Aljamain now, man, my defense has gone so much better. Because there's little tricks that I forgot.
Yeah,
the threshold of having somebody pressing you against the cage, with somebody throwing the heavy right hand, diving in for the double. Like, it's cool. So I feel like every fight, I have to respect the game, and you know what I'm saying? And,
yeah, I do.
And that's where it's at. Like, I'm leveling up every single fight because in every single fight, every fighter is different, and I'm able to level up.
You know, when you went to Jacksonville, you said on that week, as we kind of start to wrap up, you said on that week you started to think, I might be done with this. What are you expecting when you step foot or you touch down in Newark? Like, what do you think the emotions of that fight week is going to feel like as we go back 3 years to your last fight week?
No, I'm sure you're going to go through the same nerves, the same pressures. But to me, I base it more, it's more of a mission for me. Like, it's not just a fight. No, it's a mission because you're not done just with this guy. You're going to fight again. So like I said before, my overall goal is what I want. I want a featherweight strap. I don't care. At this point, I really don't care who's going to have it because I do feel like Yair is a real tough matchup.
Yeah, you think he has a real chance, huh?
Yeah. If Yair is able to keep the distance, kick him, play the distance game, move around, he can easily get a win over Volkanovski. As good as he looked.
He looks good, man.
As good as he looked against Islam. But I also feel, talking to Islam as well, Islam wasn't feeling it that day.
Like, I literally said after the fight, I go, Henry should not call this man out.
No, I even like it even better because that's all people have ever done.
Doubt you. You know, Rogan and I sat together after you beat Marlon Rice, and I said, I'm never doubting Henry Cejudo again. And he goes, why would anyone ever? Because we have seen you do some amazing things over the course of your combat career. But there's another big one on May 6th. And while you say you respect Aljamain, it seems like you have a clear idea of how you're going to get through him.
Yeah.
But sometimes the plan isn't always what we expect. When you step in that octagon, those nerves, do you welcome them? Are you back into doing the mental preparation for that moment when you walk up those steps?
100%.
Because you look nervous against DJ the first time. That's the only time I think I've ever seen you look nervous. Because I was sitting in the stands watching you and Demetrius, and you came out, and I was like, let's go, Henry, let's go. And you kind of looked nervous. Like, it was like the first title, you looked a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of me, like, I mean, I knew the fresh-faced kid with the pimples right here.
Yeah.
I didn't see that look since 2007. I was like, he looks a little nervous. Like, how are you going to manage the nerves?
But not really. I think I was just so relaxed. I thought I was going to drag Demetrius Johnson through the mud.
Really?
Yeah, 100% did. But I got some humble pie that night. And I think that's what put my chip on my shoulder. That's what started motivating me. Is like, hey, I cannot leave this game without getting this dude back. It wasn't even about the belt no more. It was about Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah.
Because I knew how good he was. And it's crazy because we watched our fight on YouTube channel. Like, we watched the first fight, and we watched the second fight. It's like, look, DJ, this is why I beat you. To the point where Demetrius Johnson was like, oh, dude, I was like, I can see why you won.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you went backwards that 5th round. Yeah, I didn't touch you. I didn't hurt you. I just outwitted you. I competed against you. I used the judges to my favor. I had you going backwards. I bumped my fist those last 10 seconds. And what did you decide to do? Go back, you touched the cage. I know the crowd was for me. I could see the crowd, they started chanting Henry. I outwitted this dude. Yeah, I ain't beat him up. I just know how to win, DC.
Yeah.
And if I have to do that against a guy like Aljamain, or whatever tricks and trades that I have from experience from high-level wrestling, MMA now, I'm going to pull him out.
You're a motivating guy. And it's going to take all that in order to become the champion again for a second time. You've done amazing things, man. You have any words for the champ, Aljamain, Lane, Slane, whatever you call it?
You can tell Aljamain Denzel to polish my belt. And not just that, but also Ronald McDonald, a.k.a. Shano Smelling, he's next. I got all these dudes on the chopping block, and they're all going to get it.
Well, I'm excited. Thank you for letting us in your house again and sharing your thoughts, man. It's going to be interesting from Newark. We're all going to be there watching and trying to see if Henry Cejudo can do something like this again. Something so extraordinary you have kind of made normal. So I know that we're in for a hell of a ride.
That's it. That's who I am.
Henry, thank you, my friend.
I'm a unicorn.
My man.